Welcome back, and thank you for joining us. Welcome back to another episode of the Are You For Real podcast. I am your co-host, Miss Cece, and this is
Miss T,
your hostess with the mostest. And today, you guys, we are going to be talking about dating. So let's go ahead and jump right into it.
we are here to really encourage, inspire, and excite. Because you hear so much about the dating, and so many people are talking negative, and women are, where are the good men, and men, and the men are out there, but maybe you are a little bit too high standard, and you need to know what you want and who you want, but are you the person? So I'm saying forgetting the past and look forward to your future. Stop talking about what happened in the future. We're talking about today. We need things happening today, not the past. So whatever happened in the past, let's start today. So it's okay to be who you are. Why would you want to be somebody else?
That's true.
People want to, I wish I was this, I wish I was there. No, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. So you don't need to wish you were this person or that person. And stop idolizing other people.
Right. Trying to keep up with the Joneses.
And you don't know how the Joneses got there.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
I've never met the Joneses.
Who? Joneses, Smiths. We don't know who they are.
Johnsons, but not the Joneses.
So you need to look at yourself, work on yourself, and make sure you're what you want the person to be. Are you honest? Are you thoughtful? Are you kind? That's what you want. You want this person 6'3", 150 pounds or whatever he is. You want him to have this 6-figure job and everything. But what do you have?
The list.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, and you talk about the list. So if you want a list, are you also on the list?
You have to be the list to make a list.
Right.
Yes. So
if you want an honest, decent person, a working man, what are you? I used to be so flippant to somebody said, well, what kind of man you want? I said, I want the same man that the same car I want. I want a BMW C-Class. And they said, what does that mean? I said, a black man working as a Christian. Being flippant,
Black man working.
But I was working. I had a good job, and I was doing well. And so, no, I was not going to go with anyone that wasn't working or taking care of himself. Not, we could work together.
Right.
But I'm not going to take care of no man.
Right.
Because he is supposed to take care of me. I don't care what the feminists say. I am a feminine woman. I love to be a woman. And I act like a woman, and I want you to treat me like the female and woman and lady that I am.
Okay, so what does dating actually mean like in 2026? What do you think it means?
Well, when I listen to the Gen Zs, because I guess they're the ones, what is this, the 40s and 50s that are really dating now. And it's like we're not trying to get to know the person.
Right.
When you're dating, you should, you can say, when you first get this person, don't look at them as a husband. Look at them as a person or maybe a friend. Get the friendship together first.
Right.
And see what they're all about. What do they like? Ask them different questions about themselves. Don't just talk about yourself. And gentlemen, if you want to date somebody, you need to have a job. And be able to take them to a place that you can afford.
But just have some type of structure to yourself.
Right.
Because what I'm seeing is I'm not really seeing that dating is meaning anything, because most of the people that I know are not dating. They're just praying to God that will send a man. I guess he's supposed to just show up at the front door and just knock on the door and say, hello, here I am. But it's good to have faith, but faith is dead without works.
That's right.
So you have to put yourself out there.
Right.
And mix and mingle to find you, a husband, a boyfriend, whatever you're looking for. Which leads me to my next question: is dating about finding love, companionship, marriage, or simply just having fun?
Well, you know what? It depends. I'm looking at the age group, because I remember when I was dating in my 20s, and I wasn't really serious. I wasn't really looking for a serious relationship because I was just out having a good time.
Right.
When I graduated from college, and really I went to college only because my mother, when she passed away, I knew I was leaving Arkansas. So my thing was, I wasn't trying to be serious with anybody because I knew once I graduated, I was out of here.
Right.
And so when I went to California and I got a job within 3 months that I was there, and then I got my apartment, and I was just really kind of having a good time. I was raised in a Christian home, but I wasn't doing everything right. I'm not perfect. I wasn't perfect. And I tell anybody, I was a good sinner, but I'm a better Christian. But the Bible said all have sinned and come short of the glory of God.
You're
so
right.
I get tired of these people trying to look down at other people when they're going through something. So somebody made a good statement today. They said, don't judge the person, judge the sin.
Ooh, that's deep.
Isn't that deep?
That's
because
deep.
You could be doing the same thing, So, and the people say, well, I wouldn't do that. But if you've never been in that situation. You don't know what you've done.
Don't know.
So I always ask Father, I hope that I don't make the same mistake.
Right.
But just in case I do, I need the same mercy that God gave me. I need to give that same mercy to the other person.
Right.
So that's really what you really need to look at. And as you mature, in your 20s, people are having fun. And so my friends and I love to dance, and we clubbed, we partied.
Me too.
we were the party sometimes.
Yes. I love to go to the club. I was out there, in the streets.
So you just have to have some mercy and thank God. And I know people are praying for me, just like I'm praying for people that they don't know I'm praying for them. And but give people grace and mercy.
Yeah. Which you said earlier, like what happened to actually getting to know someone.
Right.
And that's just even with your friends.
That's
and
right.
Even meeting male or female, your opposites to go dating. You still need to get to know people. So like you said, you can kind of get a better understanding. You won't be so judgy. Because I think I was more judgy when I was younger than now.
Right.
I'm not as judgmental. I'm more understanding because I've gone through a lot. So I kind of understand, like, oh, been there, done that. Been there, done that. So it just happens that way.
Right.
Okay, so let's talk about dating then versus now. So let's get a boomer perspective. So how did people meet when you were young?
Well, we didn't have all this technology.
No texting.
So, and I remember, in school, a lot of times we went out as groups because a lot of us didn't have cars.
Right.
Well, maybe one person did have a car, and then there was 10 people in the car.
I remember those days.
Remember that? When one person had a car, everybody piled right on the back of the car. Girl, please, we could have all been dead. So that one person had the car, and so we all piled in that car, and we all went to Chicken Shack or whatever.
Right.
So we were going as a group. Now, the more you went out, maybe there was one person that you got more attracted to, and that person started talking to you. And then, but that was kind of, you had to be kind of sensitive with that because people, what's going on with you guys?
Well, it's so funny because back then it's like everybody like the same person. So it's like, how did you, maneuver to say, well, I saw him first? It was always kind of like that when we were really young. But this question, who usually makes the first move?
Well, back then we thought that it had to be the guy. Okay. We had to wait on the guy. We weren't that forward. So, it was like, that the guy make the first step. And a lot of times they were kind of shy because they didn't like to be rejected.
Right.
And so then you had to be careful. And then when you're with this group and then you kind of want to go out to yourself and isolate yourselves and everybody's looking, start teasing and whatever. So when I was coming up, it was just a group thing. It was not too much individual. I remember this one guy liked me and he was on the football team, and I think one day it was muddy or something. After then, he carried me over the mud and stuff like that. And it was, I thought I was bad.
But that's so funny you say that, because I dated like the captain of the football team. Like I dated
he wasn't the captain, but he was a member.
Yeah, he's kind of popular in high school, 12th grade. I was like a junior, and I left all my friends to be like on the senior quad. So when he left and then I became a senior, all my friends dogged me out because I left all my friends. I didn't bring them, to the popular, because I was kind of popular when my boyfriend was there, but when he graduated, I was there by myself, so it didn't work out that way. But when you did find someone special, what did a typical date look like?
Well, first we were in school, so it wasn't too much money going anywhere. So in high school, we went to the hamburger place.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Well, and the drive-in, because we had drive-in back then more than we had then. But it wasn't anything really, a movie. And then back then it was very segregated. So the drive-in, if you didn't go to drive-in,
see what I'm talking about. So, we're going back.
Right. So we at the movies, the black area, we sat in the back.
Oh my gosh.
And then the whites were sitting in the front of the theater. Oh yeah. So those things, and see, and being raised from the South, it was the South, it was white only, colored only. See, so it was different, but like I said, I didn't take things seriously, because once I got to be a senior, I knew I was leaving. I was not going to be in Arkansas. And so if he wasn't coming to California, forget that. Right. That was the end of that conversation.
Well, as you got older, what would you say would a typical date look like when there's money involved?
Typical, we would go out to a nice restaurant. Right. I'm not trying to do the 5-star, because I always thought about what he was making. And also, what I was making. And so if he wasn't able to do, it just had to be nice. Yeah. I did not, I wasn't paying for it. Because like I said, he invited me out. So it was a nice meal. It wasn't, and I didn't try to get the most expensive thing on the menu. I always
try to be sensible.
I always tried to be that and go out. And so just in case we didn't make it, and we were just really being friends. And we would go, I love to go to the park. We could go on festivals. So a lot of these things that we were going to were free.
Right.
And we were going together and just, being together and doing things. Go for a drive. Used to love to go drive on Sundays.
I remember driving.
Go down the coast. So we did things like that because we didn't have a lot of TV, and we certainly didn't have all these phones and stuff. We had the old phone that you called, So he would have to call. And my father said he better come to the door and pick me up. Wasn't no blowing the horn.
Oh no!
And you come out there, and then you were your parents. He came in, then he had to sit down, and they had to give him a 3rd degree. Before you left.
Before you left.
Right. So it was what we knew, and it was interesting, and it was kind of embarrassing. But when you look back on, you said, well, they did the best that they could, and they had our interest.
Right.
And that's what parents need to do now. You need to take more time with your children and spend more time with them.
I agree. So would you say dating was more intentional back then?
I think it was. I think that our parents instilled values with us. And be careful. Now, the one thing about the parents didn't do that, they ain't talk nothing about no sex. It was, keep your panties up and the dress down. What kind of crap is that? They really didn't talk to us about sex. So how did you get here? They didn't do that. And so most of the time that we learned sex was either at school, or maybe they had a Sunday school class where the teacher was kind of, bold in telling us what to do. And, so at school, and then you learn from your friends who didn't know any more than you knew.
Right. I never got the birds and the bees.
Never. You didn't get that.
Didn't get it.
So, talk to your kids and let them know what's going on. Yeah.
Okay, so the next couple of questions is going to be an ex perspective. So dating before social media, I think it was pretty much the same as I think it was just the same. It was more wholesome. I just think it was more intentional because things were a little bit slower. Everything was so fast. And back then, they push, marriage, dating, marriage, and building a foundation and having a family versus so much now, because most people nowadays, they don't even want to have kids anymore.
Right.
So, I mean, if you're not going to have children, to me, why get married? I thought you get married to have a family. That's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah. Well, you can get family. I don't think that you have to have kids.
Right.
And it depends whether you want kids or not. And that's one thing you need to talk.
Right.
A lot of times we didn't talk to each other back then. It was like, oh, I love you, ask you to, date, get engaged and get engaged and get married. That was just it. And that's the way they looked at it. And if you wasn't getting married at a certain age, when are you gonna get married?
When you have kids, yeah. They put the pressure on you.
Yeah, that pressure is there.
Yeah, so that was, it was just something that you did when you come of age. You just, you start looking at guys, you start getting that little feeling, and you start liking somebody, and then you kind of want to hold hands. It starts with holding hands and walking home from school, and then it kind of goes to the next level. But, it was normally like meeting people through friends, work, church, class, and etc. So it was always, somewhere to go. Back then, we had a lot of events like the skating rink, and they had clubs, and they had, different events that you would go to, and you would go with intention. Remember, you used to get your put your little numbers ready, write down your numbers so they would be already ready to give out. We used to do that.
What kind of numbers?
Like your phone number. We would already have it ready.
Oh, really?
If we wanted to, I would make my numbers out before on a piece of paper, so if someone asked me, I could just give it to them real quick. So I used to kind of prepare myself. I knew I was gonna find somebody. You think, this somebody I'm gonna meet somebody. So I would always have my little numbers ready and stuff like that. But back then, people would hook you up with their friends, or you would go with someone and you would be with the cousin, or if you had a friend, or if you meeting a guy, he would bring some other friends and you bring your girlfriends. So that was kind of fun.
Right.
And then let me see.
And they had double dating back there.
Double dating was cool, because I remember I went on a few dates when I was very young, like teenager, and my mom would take us and then go to the movies and go with us and then bring us back.
Right. Now,
the transition from phone calls to texting, I used to love talking on the phone with my little friends, because remember, you used to fall asleep on the phone talking. Those were the good old days. She was like, you hang up, you hang up, you hang up, you hang up, and next thing you know, you on the phone, and the next day you still on the phone. So those were just times that were just so kind of innocent, fun. But I like the phone versus texting. I'm not a texter.
Right.
So I never really got into texting, because it would be like, I remember when I was working at work, and we would be sitting right here, and the lady would be, her door's open. Instead of her just saying, hey, could you bring me the paper, she would email me the conversation. And that kind of steered me away from texting, because I hated email. So to me, emails and texting are the same thing. And I had so many problems in the workspace with them emails, that it just, when the texting came, I didn't like it.
I know. I think when I retired, there wasn't a lot of emails and texts, and I don't believe we had the phones, and we had the computers. That's what it was. The computer was new then, right? And so they would do a lot of the computer, and I did not care for the computer. And I was glad when I retired. I didn't think I'd have to would be bothered. Right. But now technology is going off the hook.
Well, we didn't think it was gonna. When they came out with the first Atari game, who would have dreamt that Atari would turn into all of this? The one computer, the Apple, this, that, the phone itself. It just exploded. I wouldn't have never guessed that it would be that it is now from how it began. Right. Not the way it is.
That's true. That's
true. So today, how do you feel about the dating apps? What do you think about dating online?
Well, I'm still the old-fashioned person that you need to communicate face to face.
Yeah, because that's how they're communicating, through the computer.
They're doing through the computer. But even if you go online, you need to meet the person at a place. Whether it's for lunch. Right. I'm not saying a full course dinner, but when you're talking to somebody online, you don't know who you're talking to.
You're right.
You know, and these people are putting these pictures up
Catfish.
from 20 years ago.
That's a catfish.
Is that what it's called, catfish?
It's called catfish.
And you think you're talking to somebody when you see them, say, what? Who
I
are
know.
you? You know?
Like, why would you put a 30-year-old picture up and you old?
Thank you. So I think that you still need to meet them, and you meet them. Don't let them know where you live or whatever. You meet them at a place. And I noticed that this thing about it, I think this is crazy. But I guess it's safe that, you know, people will say, oh, somebody will call you and say, if they don't like you, they tell you to call them. And then if I don't want to be there with them, oh, I got an emergency, I got to go. I think that's wrong.
Like you go on a date and you tell me to call you.
Right, call you. And then they call and say, is he okay? I mean, is he okay? And you'll say, no. And then, but if you want to leave, and say, oh, we got an emergency. I think that is so wrong. That is so wrong. I don't care. You need to stay there at the date and finish your date. And then, you know, it was a good time. And then you don't have to give them your phone number or anything like that. And just, I mean, it's hard to put them down, but be honest.
But could it be so hard just to sit with another human being and break bread? Like, do you say, like, if you know the date is not working out, you could probably say, well, there's no chemistry, right? But I just enjoy your company. Like, you can't enjoy somebody's company that you're not attracted to, tingly with, right? Like, you should be able to sit down with another human being and just break bread and have conversation, whether you like them or not.
Well, yeah, and you need to look at it that you're meeting another person,
right?
And this may be could be a very good friend. Mm-hmm. It could be somebody that maybe you can network with. Mm-hmm. You never know. This person may have working in a place where they may help you to get a job. So you have to look at opportunities, and everybody you meet is not your husband or your wife. Yeah, you know, look at this person as a friend, because I think you really. I think that's what's wrong with marriages now. You don't be friends first. I need to like you. Yeah, not love you. I need to like you and like who you are and what you do. Right. And then I think with that the chemistry will come. If it's not light bulbs and firecrackers the first time we meet. I think you need to give that person a chance.
I think liking is better than love, because you can love a family member, but you don't like them. Right. So, like, I think you need to love them and like them.
Well, like comes first to me.
Yeah, like is very important. Right. Because you can love somebody, but you may not like being with them.
Right. You know, like I love you, but I can't stand to be with you.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? You gotta like somebody. Liking is very important to me.
Right. I do too. Yeah,
I think
that's true.
Okay, so red flags. What are red flags?
A person that is rude and just talks about themselves and doesn't ask the other person. Yeah. And I think we have a lot of selfish people out there who they want to talk about their accomplishments, but they never say, you know, and what are your interests? What are you doing? What do you like? Right. We don't do that anymore. This person wants to talk about everything they did. Right. And then they never ask you, how are you feeling? Did you have a good day today? Right. What did you do today? But we're so insensitive to each other. Right. So
no job.
Well, that's true.
No teeth.
Okay.
Too many kids.
Right. Oh, let's just talk about this woman.
These are red flags. What are your no-nos?
The really no-nos. I need you to be kind, honest, dependable, on time. I'm
okay. But then you So you do So your green flags. You got them. Your green flags. So your green flags. The honest, dependable. Yes, on time.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, Miss Merch, don't play with that clock.
You know, and not being. I don't like rude people. Right. You know, I want you to be a nice person and think about sensitive to other people. Right. You know. And I guess my red flags would be somebody that's just downright rude and mean,
abusive,
right, and mistreat people. You know, mistreat people, and you can tell that also by when the waiters or the people who are waiting on you. How do they treat them?
How do they treat? Like, do they tip? Do they talk about people? Like, just how they. This is how I look at it. If people show you who they are, believe them.
That's right.
Because if they're yelling at people and they're cussing them out, it's gonna trickle back around to you. It's just that's just how they gonna be.
That's true. So be careful. But I think everyone with the dating scene now, work on yourself. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. In fact, even being healthy. I thought I was doing really good, and because I was active. I was playing tennis. I was walking. I loved to walk. I was bike riding. Even when I retired, I was doing all of that. And then when they said the generation stuff that start coming from your heritage, from your family line, and then things start happening. And so you have to be careful. So you really have to be in prayer and ask God to show you what to do and how to keep you healthy, wealthy, and wise. That's what I say. Be healthy, wealthy, and wise.
That's true. Well, going back to the list of things that people want or don't want. Like I do feel, because that's kind of like a red and a green flag when you have a list. I think a lot of people that I know, I think their list is too high.
Well, they aren't even on the list. They can't even put themselves on that list.
I feel like the stuff on some of the lists that I see people, you're never going to find anybody like that.
Because you're not like that.
That too. But I'm just saying, when you deal with somebody, there's going to be something that with each and every person you meet, whether it's a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or just a friend, it's going to be something that you're going to have to deal with because you're different.
Because you're perfect.
So nobody's perfect. So with that being said, it's almost impossible. I don't think that you really, I didn't say need a list. If you get to know people, you don't need a list.
Yeah.
If you really get to know people, I don't think you really need a list. And a lot of people, they look up, well, how do you on looks and stuff? Do they have to be is it people that are not as attractive? Because when I had made a comment about somebody and Royalty told me, I said something I said, oh, she was ugly. And Royalty told me, he said, maybe that's not nice. He said, that person's just not your type. Because everybody has a type.
Yeah.
So do you have a type, or how do you feel about stuff like that?
Well, you know what? When I was younger, I did. But I never looked at the 6'3", 200 pounds. I never judged people like that. And then when the last person that I was with was 6'3", I said, oh, okay now. But I always wanted that person to be taller than me where I can wear heels. I wanted that. I wanted them to have character and integrity. I want them to be courteous. I like for you to open the door for me. I want to be treated like the lady that I am. And so I want you to be as nice on the outside, on the inside, as you are on the outside. And so I think a lot of times we don't look for character and integrity.
That's true.
We're looking for the 6 figures of money. And then that person, we probably won't stay with them because if they mistreat you and treat you any kind of way, eventually you may put up with it for a while, but you'll get tired of that.
Right. Because I learned my lesson about a type. My husband, he's not my type. He doesn't like when I say that, but to me, I think that's a good thing because I was not a good picker. So I tried to pick something more differently than what I was used to dating. And that's why I've been married so long. This is the most successful relationship that I've had ever. I would only go no more than 3 years or a little bit of time with a person. But 20 something years, oh, never, nothing that long. So yeah, but I had to, and I met him online.
Right.
So it was totally nowhere to where I would think I would meet. I would never want to meet somebody online. I would more. I think when I came here, that's when Auntie Sue was like, well, you got to get online to find somebody. And I took her advice and that's how I found Pat. But like I said, he was a really nice guy. And at first I thought he was too good for me. But as we started dating and everything, he was just a nice guy. He was just different. Not say good for me, just different. And then I started learning how to be in a company of a different type of man. And I learned a lot. It changed me for the good, and I'm happy that we met.
Was it because did he treat you more like a lady than the other people did? Was
Yes.
he was more into you than he was himself? Where the other guys may have been more into themselves, you think?
Yes, he was just a very nice guy. He was just a gentleman. I never dated a gentleman before. Like flowers, candy, jewelry. Like I think he got me a pair of diamond and sapphire earrings on our second date. Like he was very generous. He was just like a knight in shining armor.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I really believe there's a difference between Christian dating and just dating.
Right.
And as Christian people, we need to have ourselves together and really know what God says about dating and marriage. We really need to know what the word is. Because when we're out there and just choosing for ourselves, anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
But once you make that commitment, and see, marriage is a commitment. When you're dating, you're trying to see, do I want to be committed to that person? Do I want to live with this person? And see, it's not just getting married and okay, if it doesn't work in 6 months, we're going to get divorced.
Right.
That's not how you go into
any
relationship.
Not into a marriage.
Right. And so I think that when you say that you're a Christian, you need to find out just what a Christian is and what God says about that. It's a difference. I don't care what they say.
It is a big difference, and I really feel that you should have marital counseling.
Right.
Every single couple that is getting married should have counseling. Period.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's going to bring out questions that you may not think about, and when you're in the marriage 20 years later, like it be some stuff that comes up that is very challenging. So, I mean, people get sick, people change, people, they just change. And you might not be married to the same person you were 20 years ago to 20 years now. It's a whole different totally person. So, the workplace could change them. They could get into an accident, have PTSD, or anything could happen. You just never know. And you have to be very strong to continue in a marriage when that other person, is not themselves or going through or sick, and being sick, that can really put a strain if one of you is really sick or dying. Like it's a lot of things that can happen that can make you not want to be involved. But you have to what if it was you? Like if you were the one that was sick, would you want someone to just give up on you and go out and be cheating and stuff? Like marriage is a commitment, and sometimes it's not going to be, parades and confettis and stuff like that. You have to get out of yourself, and you might not feel wanted or loved or sometimes it's rough. That's all I can tell you.
And you really have to.
And you gotta love yourself too, no matter what. Because there might be times when another person can't be there for you. You gotta hold your own self up.
And you have to encourage yourself.
Right.
You can't really depend on other people
to make you happy.
Right. And they're not supposed to make you happy. You are to make yourself happy. You can't depend on somebody else to make you happy. And so you do what you can to be the best whole person that you can be. This half a person. Who wants a half a person? My best half. Really? I want a whole full person. And so we need to be careful what we say. Be careful what you say, because even the word says death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it should eat the fruit thereof.
All right now.
So be careful what you say and what you put out in the universe. And as a Christian, you need to pray about everything. He said pray about everything. Everything. I mean, every situation, every little
situation.
Thing. I mean, I even was praying about, Father, help me with the bowling. I want to bowl good. But he said pray about everything. And so when we are a Christian, we are supposed to really depend on him.
Right.
And not ourselves.
Exactly.
And so I can encourage myself. I can't depend on you to encourage me. Yeah, you may do it sometimes. But when I get up in the morning, I encourage myself. I say, I am loved. I am forgiven. Yes. I am a new child. I'm a good child in God. I'm a good person. I am saved, delivered, and set free. You have to talk to yourself.
Yeah, you have to inspire yourself.
And so if you do that and encourage yourself every day, and that's what I was telling Miss Cece. I said, not love yourself, not be in love with yourself, But you do have to love yourself, okay? Not love yourself.
Not in love with
And love
yourself.
yourself. But you do have to love yourself, because how can you love somebody else if you don't love yourself?
Right. What you put out is what you get back.
That's right.
That's all I'm going to say.
Right.
All right. So now we're going to play like a little game called Date or Delete.
Uh-oh.
First question. So they are attractive, successful, and funny, but still live with their ex. Delete.
Delete. Real quick.
They text you every morning, but never ask you out.
Delete.
They say, I don't believe in labels.
What kind of label?
Like going together, boyfriend or girlfriend,
Okay,
going
so
steady.
I'm not supposed to say
They
you're
don't
my
believe
boyfriend and girlfriend.
They don't believe in labels. They don't put no labels on it.
Oh, well. I may not want to label either.
So that was a date? You gonna date that one?
Hey, I don't know. I'd have to get to know him. I'll be getting to know him. So
okay, that's kind of a little opening to say. Okay, let me get to know. Okay, they want to move in together after 3 months.
Delete.
They are wonderful, but your friends and family do not like him.
Okay, now we have to see, because they have to give us. If I like him,
that's all that matters.
and you guys like me, then you have to put up with what I have right now, and then maybe you saw something I didn't see. So down the road, I'm sure I'll see it if it comes up.
Right, you'll keep it. You keep your antennas up.
Right.
Oh, that was that one. So now we're going to go into money and dating.
Okay.
So I already know the answer to this question. I already know what I'm going to ask. What I'm going to ask Miss T. What's my question? Because I already know the answer to this one.
What about his job?
No. Who should pay for the first date?
The man. He asked me. I didn't ask him out.
I know that's right.
So would you pay?
No, not on the first date. Okay. Maybe the second date I'll be willing to pay.
Second and third, no. I'm not. I already told you that.
Well, then I must have to skip the next one. should you split the bill?
One day.
One day. Not today.
Not the first 3.
Not the first 3. Okay. All right. Does a person's financial situation matter?
Well, it depends on, are they a good steward of money? I have to see what they're doing,
That's true. I mean, but when do you talk about that? Like, when does that come up? When you're going steady? When you're engaged?
Well, I believe once you think that you're getting serious, and I think, once you've gone out several times,
okay.
and you see, is he always counting his money, trying to see if he can pay for the bill or everything? Because you have to be a good steward of your money, and a lot of us aren't.
Yes.
And the thing that my parents always taught me, pay your bills first. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, in their situation, we pay our tithes first. I do tithes. Pay your tithes, do your bills, and then everything else.
Right.
You save some, you give some. Mm-hmm. And so they taught us that. So how does he handle his money? You can kind of see that as you're dating him.
Yeah. Let me just see like what I said with Patrick. I think we didn't really talk about money until like after we got married.
But did you see how he handled money?
Yeah, he was he paid for everything. Like I didn't want for nothing. It seemed like when we first started dating, we had less. It seemed like we had more when we had less, and then we started making more. Mm-hmm. We had different things, a new car, this or that, a bigger house, or this or that. So it was always like in the beginning, it seemed like we did more than we do now. It seemed like we can't really do as much as we used to when we first started dating, but we have more responsibility.
Right.
But he always said, but we didn't really get into money until after we got married because we had separate accounts, and which is another question on this. On the next question was, should couples keep separate bank accounts? And we did have separate bank accounts, but I convinced him that it would be better for us to, go together. To put all the bills in it and get the money in one account. So we have one account.
Well, if you have if you do have separate accounts, you need to know about those accounts.
Right, because if anything happens, like it's just money, but you don't know about it.
I would think that you could put all your money into one account, and then you could have because I believe that spending, I don't need to have to always ask you or confer with you if I want to buy something.
Right.
So I'm thinking that you can have one account, and then you can have an account, and I can have an account where we can spend and what we want to.
That's what we really need to do. We like it's on the same chase, but it's like mine and his, and then we like Zelle money to each other, like whatever the case may be. But we have like direct deposit, so like when the money, I mean not direct deposit, but the way the bills are set up, it comes out of the account. So we already know what we're paying for. Right. But then like if I need to send him something, I'll just send him or tell him he can go in there and get it. But it's the same account where either one of us can go in it and transfer money. But we've never gone into, I've never like, if I need something, I say, well, can I borrow $20 or can you help me out? And he'll send it to me, but I never go in his account and take money out without him knowing. I ask him and he asks me. Normally he don't ask, and I see there's a problem, I just send him some money because he's not going to ask me.
Well, you know, the thing too, I always think that you should have an emergency at home anyway, money.
Right.
When I had a certain limit of money that I have, you know, in a certain place, because just in case I want to go out to lunch or somebody asked me to go out, and I still kind of do that. In fact, I have done it up until this month because I had a lot of big bills come in that I had to take care of.
Right.
But I still usually put so much money a month in a place here.
That's what I need to do.
Yeah, because you have that, and so if I need to buy some gas or something extra, so I do the tithes and I pay my bills. Those are the first things I do, and then I take out money for that month.
Right.
You know, and then if I have any over, then I put it in my little petty cash.
That's a good name for it because that's what it is, petty cash. Like everybody little petty cash box. Yeah. So I need to get me some petty cash.
Because sometimes
and stop being petty. I'm just petty. I ain't got no cash.
Because sometimes I may just want to do, you know, I like to do the pedicures every once in a while and do things like that.
It's just good to have that.
We have a little money, on so we can go and you don't have to worry about going to the bank every time you have to do something. Right. You know, but like you said, most things is online, so you can get it. But you know, I did that, so that's how you know, and you know, having to deal with another person. I'm not dealing with another person. It's me. So I have to make sure I'm doing what I need to do.
All right, girl. Well, that's all the questions that I have for this podcast.
Okay, well, that
today
was
on
really
dating.
Good. That was really good.
I dug a little deep on that one.
Yes, you did. That was really good. And I hope everybody got something about it because we do want you to learn something, and we don't know everything. And see, I'm looking at this. We want this to be our podcast, you participating. And so if you have questions, if you have comments, if you don't agree, it's okay. And it's good not to agree because you may know something that I don't know, or may have said something that you said, well, you know what, let me give you a better situation. Let me tell you something differently. And like I said, I try to learn something every day. I don't know everything. I do have some experience because I've been here over 70 years. So I think that I can give some advice, but you know, I can receive advice too. You know, I don't mind receiving. And then if I don't agree with you, I say, well, you know what, that sounded good, but that's just not for me, or you know, I don't really agree with it right now. But I can put it in a box, and maybe I may need it next time. You know, further down the road.
Miss T.
The box in the back of my mind. But anyway,
oh my God, that's funny.
But you know,
did you have to roll the eyes?
But you know what? I'm just enjoying my life, you guys. That's all I can tell you. I enjoy my life. You know, things come up, and I don't let things bother me like they used to. No, if somebody doesn't do what they say they're going to do, It doesn't bother me anymore. I just I always have an A and a B plan.
You do?
You know, I have an A plan, and if the A don't work, then I go to the B. And then if I have to go to the C, I will. See my way out of it.
It's so sad. Girl, you gotta have a plan no matter what you're doing.
You better have one.
Live, single, you need a plan, and you need to have your little petty cash.
Right. So get that
and take care of your credit.
Right. Make sure I've always had good credit.
Cash is king, but you still need your credit.
Yes, you do.
You still need your credit.
Yes, you do. So
let's go ahead and you have anything on your mind?
You know what? I was listening. I was listening to you little Gen Zs and what you guys have.
What's a Z? Gen Z.
You guys. Hey, I know I'm old. Okay. And some of this stuff is really new to me. And some of these words and stuff they say, I have no idea what they're talking about. Okay. But I was listening to because I like a lot of game shows. And this one particular show, they always ask a percentage of the group, the audience that's there. Mm-hmm. But this particular, they asked the percentage of the Gen Zs, period, not just there in the audience that day. And so I was surprised when the guy asked, what percentage do you think that Gen Zs write checks?
Oh yeah.
And so I did real low.
I did lower than you did.
Because I said, oh, I gave them 32%. And I thought that was high.
Right.
And so, and I think when I mentioned it to you, you went lower than I did.
I went lower than, I think I said 25%, 20%.
Right.
Yeah.
But then when the answer on the show, they said that 82% of you guys write checks.
That's crazy to me.
And that's when I said, really?
Because I never see anybody writing a check. Everywhere I go, everybody has a debit card or cash. I thought I was the only one who had checks.
But what I'm thinking is because I don't carry checks with me. I have two accounts that I do write checks.
Right.
But I send them through the mail. Mm-hmm. I'm not using them at the store or anything like that. I have not seen anybody use a check in the store.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
A long time. This one lady, we were at Sam's Club and she pulled out a checkbook and everybody looked, including me. And they had to call the manager because the person didn't know how to handle a check.
Yeah.
So we had to sit there and wait on him to call the manager.
That's what happened.
The manager came
when
over.
You write a check.
And so she holding up the line.
Right.
And she did not care.
Right. It's her turn.
That was her turn. So you should have been in front of me and not behind me.
Right.
But that was about, that had to be maybe 6 months ago.
Oh my gosh.
But she pulled out her check and she wrote.
That's me. Write a check. And I got some cute little Hello Kitty checks too. Like they're cute.
They cute. I just have some regular checks. I could care less, but I don't use them in a store or anything like that.
Well, I just always think like I take it with me just to have a backup. Like if something goes wrong on my card, then I can just write a check for it. Because like my I don't know. I feel like my card is old. Like. I know they send you a new one after so many years, it expires, but I feel like I didn't use, like I use my card a lot, so I feel like I didn't zapped all the little thing on the back out. So when I go to do it, I can't, my card doesn't tap. I don't have, like they said, just tap. I said, my card don't do that, girl. I've had this card for a long time. My card don't tap. I have to stick it in and it doesn't swipe because it has a chip on it, but it don't tap either. It's woe out.
Now, see, I'm more upgraded than you are.
Yeah, so you're tapping.
Oh yeah, I can tap.
No, I can't tap. Watch, when we go next time, I'm gonna say, see if it'll tap. It ain't gonna do nothing. Ain't no tap dancing. Ain't no nothing. Nothing.
But I thought that was interesting. But I've been watching to a lot of podcasts with Gen Zs talking about different things, and so I try to keep up with the trends. And try to keep up with the updates. But they got some words out there. I have to start writing some words down because I have no idea what they're talking about.
Okay. Maybe next week I'll bring some words up and see if you know what they mean. That would be fun.
Okay. But guys, hope that you enjoyed this. And for all of you out there looking for love, look
Yes.
for it in the right places.
In the right places.
All right.
All right, guys. With that being said, get out that bed, wash your face,
put some clothes on, and do something.
We see you guys next week.
Bye, and do it this week.
Bye.
Bye.